let's start with Eberechi Eze. And according to Steve K, he says Arsenal bid for Eze imminent, but Vieira sale crucial. So he basically says we are going to need to sell Vieira to buy Eze. Now, it depends on how much money you're going to get for Vieira. I don't personally think you're going to get that much money. If you can get more than at least 25 million, that would be very crucial. That would be very big for us, because that would mean like maybe a 9 million loss because of how much we bought him for. It wouldn't be that such a big loss after 3-4 seasons. But are we going to actually get that money for Fabio Vieira? That is the question. Are we going to be able to sell him for that much? Which other teams are going to come in for him? At the moment, it's only Stuttgart that have inquired about him, as David Austin told us last week or early this week, that Stuttgart a link to Fabio Vieira, but we haven't really heard about any other team that are ready to pay for Fabio Vieira. But I still believe he is going to leave. So if that transfer is connected to Eze, then we obviously need to get it done quick. Now, in terms of the article, they say that we are told that the Gunners are currently prioritizing the departure of Portugal international in order to have more financial leeway in their pursuit of Eze. Talks with Stuttgart over a permanent deal are ongoing, with the Bundesliga side looking to bring in a replacement for Enzo Milot. Sources have confirmed reports from Germany that Stuttgart are looking to pay 20 million euros for the 25-year-old. So they're only willing to pay 20 million euros only. So that is like 16 million pounds. So that's quite low. They go on to say that Arsenal's initial price tag is likely to be more than this, but all parties appear keen to get a deal done quickly. The North London agency stems for the fact that they would ideally like to get a deal for Eze in place this week. The England star too is keen to become an Arsenal player as soon as possible. Eze wants clarity on his future before Sunday's Community Shield clash with Premier League champions Liverpool. So Crystal Palace are playing against Liverpool on the weekend, Community Shield, and Eze wants his future decided by then. So how many days do we have? Today is Thursday, so just a couple of days before the weekend. We're going to have to move very quickly in terms of that. We have to talk to Crystal Palace regarding Eze and him not playing the Community Shield. It's Eze himself who does not want to play the Community Shield. He wants his future sorted before the Community Shield. They also go on to say that once Vieira's exit is closer to being sorted, Arsenal will make their opening bid for Eze. As Football Transfers revealed, the Gunners are looking to submit a first offer in the region of 60 million euros, or around 50 million pounds. If Arsenal can manage to find common ground with Palace this week, Eze is not expected to feature on Sunday. The North London club are confident of agreeing a deal for the 27-year-old. However, the next few days are going to be crucial in determining whether or not Eze will be a Gunners player come the end of the window. They also go on to say he is keen on the move, but he's not actively trying to force through a transfer and could remain at Palace if no agreement is reached. Mikel Arteta said that he wants to balance his squad, and Eze would do exactly that, being able to provide cover on the left wing as well as the number 10. He could be Arsenal's final piece of the puzzle. So As is not like the Mosquera situation or the Yokwe situation. Those players 100% wanted to leave their clubs to come to Arsenal. As is not the same. As has agreed to join Arsenal. He's happy to join Arsenal, but he's also okay with staying at Crystal Palace. So if no one really pushes for the move, As is absolutely okay with them staying at Crystal Palace, whether it's until January, whether it's until next season, one more season. He has no problem with that. So he's not forcing a move and refusing to train and refusing to play. No, he's featured in all their preseason games. He is training. He is still working hard. So it's not like refusing to play completely, not at all. So for him, you have to show him that you really, really want him to try and get that move done. So they're saying that Vieira's move is connected to this, that we'll need to sell Vieira first to try and get Eze. So let's see if we can finalize the Fabio Vieira move to Stuttgart, because that's the only team that want him right now, unless Arsenal are keen on waiting for other teams to be linked to Vieira, depending on how much money we can get. Man, we always struggle to sell players. Let's hope Andrea Bata can change that for us, because it's been one thing that we've always struggled to do for years and years and years. There's a time Aaron Ramsey had scored 2 FA Cup winning goals for us, and he left Arsenal for free. So we need to sort that one out. This thing of losing players on a free and getting only 10 million for them, and other teams are able to get 60, 70 million for their players. It's not that great. Now, that is the latest on Eze. Speaking of players potentially leaving Arsenal, Let's talk about Rodrygo first, because this is also connected to the left wing. Arsenal are waiting to see if Real Madrid will sanction a loan deal for Rodrygo this summer. A loan deal, I never thought about that. I never thought about a loan deal. I don't think you're going to sign Rodrygo in a permanent deal, 80, 85 million euros, something like that, plus give him 300,000 per week wages. I personally don't think that is going to happen. And I don't think Rodrygo really, really wants to leave Real Madrid. Though it looks like he really loves Madrid and he would like to stay there. But next year there's a World Cup, and Brazil have a lot of players who are shining, including players like Rafinha, who are playing in the same position with Rodrygo. So if Rodrygo wants to go and start for them, he has to find a way to go ahead of Vinicius, go ahead of Rafinha, and all those guys who are playing in the winger positions for Brazil. So he might not want to leave Real Madrid, but could a loan deal be possible for him for 1 year and then, shine on a loan deal, get picked for the World Cup and go back to your team? That is what Gary Jacobs says. Arsenal are waiting to see if Real Madrid will sanction a loan deal for Rodrygo this summer. Now, will Arsenal be happy with getting Rodrygo on a loan? Would you guys be happy getting Rodrygo on a loan deal? I mean, this kind of loan deals would not be a free loan deal. I think this kind of loan deal, you'd still have to pay a little bit of money, maybe a 12, 15 million loan deal. For a player like this, it's not going to be, zero. No, you're going to have to pay for the loan deal, and his wages are going to be high. So in terms of that, you'll have to agree whether you're going to pay half or you're going to pay 80% and Madrid 20%, depending on how much he wants. All that has to come into the conversation. Now, getting Rodrygo is not going to be easy. I do not think getting Rodrygo is going to be easy, especially if he becomes available on a loan deal. Then it's not going to be Arsenal only that want him. You might hear Liverpool, Bayern, Liverpool and Arsenal all wanted Rodrygo, and then all of them went quiet because of the Rodrygo doesn't look like he wants to leave Real Madrid. But you've also been told before that PSG would want him, Man City would want him, and there's another team as well. Like, this is not just even the teams from Saudi Arabia already wanted Rodrygo, so it's not going to be an easy deal to do, even if you're trying to get him on a loan deal. But let's see if Arsenal are interested in getting him in a loan deal. The last couple of seasons, we've been able to get players last minute on a loan deal, including Raheem Sterling. So maybe this year it's Rodrygo. That would be way different from Raheem Sterling. So let's see if we can get this player on loan if he wants to actually leave Real Madrid, if he wants to actually get game time. Let's see. So that is what Gary Jacobs is reporting on Rodrygo. This one is a very tough one. I remember back in June saying, yes, we want Rodrygo. Yes, we want Nico Williams, but you need to also, be linked to different players, because we are not 100% sure if Rodrygo and Nico Williams want to leave their teams. We're actually playing against Nico Williams this weekend as well. Both of those guys, you cannot just have them as your main targets and the only targets, because it doesn't really seem like they want to leave Spain, and it's a bit of a wasting of time. If you just link to Nico Williams, link to Rodrygo, you have to have other targets. So that's the latest on Rodrygo. The loan deal option has emerged today. Let's see if that is a possibility. Now, Leandro Trossard. Gary Jacobs has also given us an update on Leandro Trossard. Leandro Trossard is available for sale this summer. So every single day, it's looking very likely that Trossard is the one that is going to leave. Martinelli is not going to leave. How much are you going to end up getting for Trossard? Trossard is currently injured. I'm still not too keen, to be honest, to sell Trossard, especially if you're not replacing him. I don't want us to find ourselves in that situation again. Last season, we let go of Nketiah, Smith-Rowe, Reece Nelson without replacing any of them. Trossard has had a better impact as of the last 2 seasons than any of those players, the Nketiahs and the Nelsons and the Smith-Rowe. So Trossard has had a season of 17 goals, had a season of more than 10 assists in half a season. Last season was not great for anyone. So am I really keen on letting him go? And I know he can come off the bench and score some crucial goals and not replace him. That's even the worst part. Like, selling Trossard and then not bringing in anyone. That would be a problem. If you're bringing on Rodrygo for that loan deal and then you let go of Trossard, maybe that is different, Maybe if you have another winger in mind that you're going to talk about in this one, maybe you can let them go. You can let Trossard go and then bring those players. But as of now, it's looking like, it is Trossard going and not replacing him. Now, that is a bad idea. If you're letting go of Trossard and not replacing him, not at all. Martinelli is not going anywhere. Martinelli is going to be here next season. We saw Madueke coming on at left wing yesterday. And if we sign EZE, that is 3 players who can play on the left wing. Maybe Trossard would be the 4th option. But at the moment today, if Trossard is fit, Trossard is ahead of Martinelli. If I was being asked to have a lineup for next week, I would have Trossard on the left wing and Martinelli on the bench. That is how it would be. I think most of you would agree. But will Trossard be an Arsenal player by then? Will Rodrygo start that game instead? Will Trossard be fit by then? We have to wait for all that. But Gary Jacobs says that he is available for sale this summer. So is it a case of Arsenal just waiting to see how much money we're going to get for him? To see whether they're going to let him go or they're actually keen on selling him, whether it's even 15 to 20 million. Now he only has 1 year remaining on his contract. You have to remind ourselves that. So it's either you sell him right now, you sell him in January, or you lose him for free next season if he stays, or you give him a new contract right now, so a 1 year deal or something. But if a better offer comes in for Trossard, I'm sure he'd be willing to take those offers, because he's 30 years of age. If a team comes in and offers him a 4-year contract and Arsenal only offer him a 1-year contract, then he can definitely move on to a different team and enjoy the last the tail end of his career. That's what he can do.